A new golf cart bridge,
Central Lake,
a lifestyle center,
a hospital,
and a community support district? Come with us to see where the ground has been broken for a new area of the Villages that may contain all of these things. Let's go check it out.
let's go.
Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Brenda.
Today we are exploring the start of a new area south of the Florida Turnpike. The information in this video is based on documents, newspaper articles, and our own observation over several months. Construction plans often change, so the information in this video is only based on the information previously released in those documents, newspaper articles, and the observations we saw of movement on the ground. The exact location on the maps in this video is only speculation. It's based on renderings and other maps that we found, but there are a few landmarks or scales on those maps. So we used some deductive reasoning, and we've tried to get the locations as close as we believe possible, but we could be far from accurate. In other words, don't plan to construct your next home on where we have drawn a road on one of these maps in the video. So let's get started with a drone flight of the construction that we have found this week. We're going to start our flight from the end of Corbin Trail, which is in the Monarch Grove village. This land, basically as far as you can see out there in the distance, is owned by the Villages developer. I flew this land on April 14th when I had ridden down Route 501, and I noticed a cut-in, and there was a little bit of a dirt road starting to go in off of Route 501 into this area. So I thought maybe they had started the construction. So I took the drone up and did a little bit of flying, and that road didn't go very far. It wasn't clear whether it was going to be all the way into this area, or if it just had to do with a little local project that's been ongoing over in that, against 501. So I came back a week later on April 21st, and this is what I found. There's a lot of work that's been happening here. This roadway lines up perfectly with some plans that they had, the developer had put out for how they were anticipating using this land. The little curves, every curve I can find on this road seems to line up perfectly with what was on the plans. So I believe, again, I'm just speculating, that this actually is going to be the road path that is going to be leading over towards Bexley Bridge. We'll fly that direction here in a minute. You may notice here, look right there, and now you see a cow in the middle of the road. This is still a cow pasture. They're working in the middle of it with the animals there. There's a cow going for a little walk along the roadway. But this road, like I said, it's going to go all the way over towards Bexley Bridge. Typically, they just put in some construction road. I think they'll come back and do more work to this. I don't think this will be the final roadbed put on it. They've got to put underground piping and all of that type of work. But it does appear to be the first phase of the construction of this new area. You'll see on the ground there some of that striping in the grass. Point that out real quickly as we go over it. This area, we've been watching it for a while. They come through here at times. This is where they get some of the sod that they use in the construction projects. They don't use the squares sod from here, but if you see the big rolls of sod that sometimes they put around the lakes and things, we've watched them. They actually have a machine that comes and cuts that and rolls it. And if you look up ahead here, this area, it looks like an airstrip. That's actually where they've been pulling up some sod. I wish I had caught it recorded it when I flew through here before, but the equipment was out and they were actually rolling sod from that spot to take and I imagine put around some lake beds. Now that's the Florida Turnpike you're seeing, looking at it flowing south. Over there on the opposite side of the turnpike from where we're flying, that's the villages of St. Catherine, over in that direction. That you'll see a little bit of the greenery of the Southern Oaks golf course. And we're going to fly up from that direction and look at this in a minute. That's the Bexley Bridge. We're going to look a little closer at it also, where this road has been coming up to. So we'll spin around and you can kind of see another area, that vast area that still is to be developed, and farther than what you can see in that direction to the left. Straight ahead, they don't own, except possibly over to where you see those little towers, not quite that far. As we fly back, I want to talk a little bit about those little dots in the ground you see. It appears that they have done some drilling in the ground, just probably testing the land. I'm speculating, but those of you that watch Gold Rush, I'm a big Gold Rush fan, and they're always core testing the ground to find out what gold would be there. Here, they're not looking for gold, I don't believe, but I think they're looking at the levels of soil, where they can find different types of soils and the sands and the clays, and to see how appropriate it is to build on those areas, what soil they need to remove, what soil they need to bring in. The Villages usually does a lot of work, of groundwork, moving dirt in and out, and to prepare the land. I don't claim to be an expert on it, on how they do it, but they spend a lot of time on that, longer working on the land than they do on building the buildings. So I'm sure that's what they were doing and testing those areas. Over to the left there, you see some dots way out there, some right in the center of the screen. Those are cows. Again, it's cow pasture. You can see they have the fence up. So they're working in there on construction in the cow pasture. So they're still enjoying themselves, playing around in the construction zone. And we're flying back into where we took off from. That's the area, the village of Monarch Grove, there to your right. Way off in the distance, you have McClure, and farther over DeSoto, you probably can't see Finney, but it would be way off there in the distance also. We took off from the end of Corbin Trail. You can see that right here, that main roadway coming in, that's Corbin Trail. And it goes over to Route 501, where you enter into Linden and Monarch Grove. So we'll slide on in here for a landing. We're not done flying. We're going to go over, got a couple of other positions. It's a little better to get some views of the potential golf cart bridge, number 4, at least the new golf cart bridges. That'll be over there at Bexley Trail. So we'll take off there in just a moment. Here we've jumped over to the village of Hawkins, taken off from that direction, and we're flying along the Florida Turnpike. We're looking sort of that same southerly direction of the turnpike, but you can just kind of see as we go along over top of the future Southern Oaks Championship Golf Course, working our way over to where the Bexley Bridge is. You see the Bexley Bridge is that existing bridge. There used to be a cattle bridge. Remember all those cows that were over there? Years ago, they were able to cross that bridge over to this side to cattle pasture also. So that's the purpose of that bridge, was a cattle bridge. It wasn't for vehicle traffic. Now as we look back across the turnpike and swing around, see that truck? I'll try and zoom in to it. I believe, if you look up really close up front, they've got a couple of rolls of sod that they've put on there. So that's the area they're cutting sod. And once again, I've relocated the drone position, coming at the Bexley Bridge from a different angle so we can really get a good close look at it. Notice they've actually been using it, taking cars and things across that old cattle bridge. I don't know if they're going to leave that bridge or replace it, but there's more to come for sure, because Bexley Trail is going to be a 4-lane road, and that's going to also go across. My speculation, again, it's just my speculation, is that bridge lines up almost perfectly with the golf cart path that's coming this direction. We'll spin around and look at it here in a second. So maybe they'll rehab that or use it for the golf cart trail. I don't think that they're going to do one of those steel matching ones that they've done as the other golf cart bridges. I just think with cars and all that, it's going to be too big to make something of that nature. I think it's more of a standard type bridge. Again, that's totally my speculation. We'll see how it comes up. But notice the golf cart path there on the far side of Bexley Trail. It stops right there. But if you follow the path, that lines up almost perfectly with the existing bridge that the cattle were using. And I don't think they're going to put this project off too long. That's the Southern Oaks Golf Course. They finished that roadway for Bexley. I don't think they want to just leave it here as a dead end for a long period of time. So I think we're going to see activity coming as soon as they have the permits for it. I don't know, maybe they have that, but I imagine that they're going to jump on it as soon as they can. And I notice across the way that digging in that hole, there was a water line that's already being installed that's going along the turnpike. It does not go all the way down to Route 470. I went down there to try and get some footage. It doesn't go that far, but I can see some dirt area where they've been doing some digging. But where that cuts across or where that's going, I don't know yet. So, but at least they're working on some of the water lines. As we spin back to the north, following along that water line that's being installed, we're going to see where the roadway that went from Route 501 coming over to Bexley Bridge. See how that stops short? Bexley Trail, that's the road that's on this side of the road that's going to go across. It's going to go straight across and continue straight ahead for a little ways. That road that you see cut in, if that is the permanent road, that last little dog leg, I think is just for construction purposes. The roadway is going to should go straight and meet Bexley Trail for an intersection to the left, sort of where that little dark spot is in the grass there. That general area, probably a little bit farther. Now, as we finish our drone flyover, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to pull up some maps and look at what some of the plans are on what could be developed on the other side. As we reorient, the area in red is the current part of the villages that has been developed or is under development. And this area in green is what we're talking about today, that large cow pasture area that has started construction. This is the existing Route 470. And this is the current Route 501 that in the plans doesn't seem to change. I think that'll stay in place. And then finally, the Florida Turnpike, which many of us use to get to the Orlando airport. This is the village of Monarch Grove, Linden, McClure, DeSoto, and Finney. Let's take a closer look here at Route 470. This is the road that goes over to the Florida Turnpike and has an interchange there that a lot of us use. This road is going to be realigned along where this green is shown. It will be renamed Central Parkway. Corbin Trail will be extended out of Monarch Grove into the new construction area. Bexley Trail will be extended from the Sawgrass Grove area through the Southern Oaks Golf Course, across the Turnpike, and down into this newly developed area. Then several other roads will be added to complete the network of roadways in the new development. Another cool thing that I'm really interested in is right here. This is going to be Central Lake. Central Lake, they're talking about having things such as dragon boats, kayaks, access to it. That has to be a large section of water in order for that to have those type of boats in it. So I'm very curious what the actual size is going to be. I've tried to estimate this from the renderings I've seen and put it on the map similar to the way their renderings were. If that were the case and it's accurate, there's about a mile long. It's going to be a good sized body of water. So, and it'll be up against the Lifestyle Center, which we'll talk about here in a second. And right next to Central Lake, we find the Lifestyle Center. The Lifestyle Center, it's been kind of vague what that is, but they've talked about a lot of things that can happen there. They've mentioned it kind of being a blend of some of the favorites. That was a quote I saw there on the developer documents. Talked about recreation being there, golf, shopping, restaurants. They even mentioned taking classes, so that makes me think some sort of recreation center. Maybe another regional recreation center, I don't know, but somewhere you can take classes. Talked about perfecting your golf swing. Does that mean driving range or some sort of golf classes? There's still more to come, I guess, but it sounds like an exciting place. And realize all this is right beside Central Lake. So Central Lake, being right up against there and as large as it is, could they do a boardwalk? Maybe something like Sumter? That's just a guess on my end. I think it'd be pretty cool if they did. So we'll see how this all turns out, but this is an exciting area and it's right along that road that they've renamed Central Parkway. So I think they're really expecting this to be a great area for our villagers' activities to be. So I'm excited to see how it turns out.
And here's the Wellness Village with doctor's offices and possibly a hospital through the partnership the Villages has with the University of Florida. It could be a leading medical research and education area.
And over here is proposing to put in a pitch and putt and a putt and play. Putt and play is kind of like putt-putt. It's on real grass and a little bit longer than your standard putt-putt, but it's a lot of fun. Pitch and putt is a very short golf course that you only walk. You only carry a couple of clubs with you, a 9-iron or a pitching wedge, and you knock the ball to the green with that, or just chip it up there, and then it's a standard green where you finish out the golf hole. But they're both pretty cool. Both of those are being discussed for that area there. One of the things I've heard a lot of people mention is there's a lack of championship golf courses south of Route 44. Well, that seems to be changing now. As you know, the Southern Oaks golf course that's under construction over in St. Catherine, that's going to be a championship course. Now, if you follow from the Southern Oaks course over there and come across the Bexley Bridge over into this new area that's being worked on or being discussed, they're talking about putting in a couple of more championship courses. You'll see those here on the map, just the general area where they're talking about. But it'd be exciting to have a lot of championship courses all in one area here.
This is the Community Support District. It's going to be for the neighborhoods, for the younger families that work for the Villages or businesses that are located in the Villages. It's also going to have a second campus for the Villages Charter School, which has K-12. It's also going to have the urban core with shopping and restaurants within walking distance. And from the renderings, it shows lots of walking trails within the Community Support District, which would be really nice.
While out on a ride on Route 470, down near where the Community Support District is going to be, we noticed a whole lot of clearing had taken place, construction. They've actually started on some ponds there. You can see that some of the brush piles are being burned. So this might be one of the first areas to get the most construction. So we'll see how that turns out. I wanted to take the drone up, but I couldn't really find a good safe place to take off from. Most of it was private property areas, and then the public areas, the roads were just way too close for my comfort. So I figured the best thing to do was let my wife drive the car and I'll get a little GoPro footage of it as we drive by. We'll be coming up here on Route 501 is on our left. So we're actually on 470 driving east, approaching 501. And you can see quite a bit of this land over there. We've done at least a mile, I think, driving along. So there's a whole lot of work that has been taking place there. If we're up just a little bit higher, you'd see those are some ponds that are already under construction right there against the roadway. And within the community support district, they're talking about an area called the urban core. And also there's a little bit of land there shown as commercial, separate from the urban core. So this is the area where it sounds like that we'll have restaurants and shopping and things that not always just aimed at the 55 and older community, the retirement community, but it's gonna be right there in that community support district. So may have some things that kids and families would be a little more interested in. So we'll see how all that comes together. All right, I hope you enjoyed that tour of the area where the construction has now started. It's just at the beginning stages. It's gonna be a long time before all this is in place, at least a couple of years, I would think. But it's exciting to see the things that may be coming. So Brenda, what are you most excited about if it comes like that?
Central Lake.
I agree. Central Lake would be pretty fun. We love water, so that'd be pretty cool. And it's pretty close to our house, so we're really looking forward to it. So do us a favor, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done that to our channel, and if you ring the bell, it'll notify you the next time we explore the villages.